Who needs a beer? We've got just the guy to help. He works at Conshohocken Brewing Company, and he's something of a beer expert, in my opinion. It's Andrew Coligan. Hey, Andrew.
How are you? Beer aficionado. I don't know about beer expert, but
There you go. I love it. Hey, before we talk beer, how you feeling about the 9-2 Eagles after that impressive win Sunday night out in Los Angeles?
That was pretty fantastic. I'll tell you what, obviously sad to see BG go down, being the spirit animal of the team, but they looked extremely impressive. Saquon, the offensive line, looked just dominant. So, hey, hopefully this is a foretelling of good things to come for the rest of the season.
For sure. All right, Andrew, the craft brewery industry surged in the 2010s, I guess, but if I'm not mistaken, it's kind of leveled off or even declined slightly over the last couple of years in terms of new breweries being opened. What is the state of the craft industry today, do you think?
My go-to answer I tell everybody is there's a lot of headwind right now. So, craft beer going on this, we've been lucky enough to just now celebrate our 10-year anniversary this past year. The craft beer industry in 2024 is very, very different than it was in 2014. And even going farther back, some of the local guys have really got their start way in the early 90s, like Victory Brewing Company and others in 96. And it's a very, very different time nowadays. And there's a lot more options, and especially a variety of different options when it comes to ready-to-drink cocktails and the surge of bourbon and brown liquors. And there's just a lot of choice. And, hey, luckily with craft beer drinkers, they tend to be extremely passionate and know and love certain brands, especially supporting their small local independent breweries like Conshohocken. So what we hope is that, there's going to be maybe a little bit of a streamlining, and hopefully the best guys and the guys that make the best beer rise to the top over the next couple of years.
I know it's your 10th anniversary this past spring because we started Philly Pressbox Radio right about the same time, the spring of 2014. So right about the same time you guys opened. So that's how I know we're right on the same kind of timeline there.
Rather serendipitous, yeah.
Yeah, Conshohocken Brewery has 4 tap rooms in the greater Philadelphia area, and you are the director of sales for the company. So what exactly does your job entail?
Head taster was already taken, unfortunately. So so my main job, obviously being the sole salesperson, director of sales and marketing department, all the so on and so forth. So basically my job is to, not only hopefully focus and integrate and streamline the different beer offerings that we have from Conshohocken Brewing Company, especially out in our retail market, but also to work with our 6 wholesaler partners that we have across 3 states, basically most of southeastern PA, northeastern PA, all of Delaware, and the majority of South Jersey and New Jersey, and working with them along with, basically hand in hand with our 1,400 plus retail partners with, obviously bars and restaurants and grocery stores and beer distributors and liquor stores and all the great, fantastic partners, stadiums, all these guys about getting the freshest and best Conshohocken Brewing Company beer.
But one of my favorite things about your brewery is all the sports-related collaborations you do with your beers. Among them, Zooisms, featuring Mark Zumoff on there.
That's a classic. Yeah, the first in the sports broadcaster series. So there you go. That's awesome. We still have
great artwork right there. Yeah. Of course, the Fransky and LA Golden Ale, another good one. And a personal favorite of mine, the Jonesy Hockey Lager, very tasty because I love a good lager. This one certainly qualifies. And hey, you've done a couple, if I'm not mistaken, Mike and Merrill beers. Is that right?
We did, yeah. So, we're really lucky and proud to partner with, obviously Philadelphia and sports go hand in hand, and we think Philadelphia sports and beer, and obviously having Glenn Mack now being part of the brewery, just a fantastic partner in the business. We have some really fantastic relationships with a lot of our, Philadelphia sports teams, and obviously the guys that have really put the voice and the spirit to a lot of these sports teams. So, yes, you mentioned a couple of them. I do have Mike and Merrill's Philly Special Hazy IPA here, which obviously did with these great guys, Mike Quick and Merrill Reese. A really cool thing about all of these sports-themed beers, I always like to highlight, is every single one of them, actually a portion of the proceeds goes towards supporting charities. So Fransky LA's Bet Them at the Bank Golden Ale supports the Philadelphia Youth Sports Collaborative. Jonesy's Hockey Lager actually directly benefits Flyers charities. This one, Mike and Merrill supports the first tee of Greater Philadelphia, so supporting youth golf programs in and around the city. Both Mike and Merrill are pretty avid golfers and very good golfers, so that's kind of a cool one there. And then the newest one, which we just came out with last month, the Great Sports Debate Amber Lager,
which I have signed by all 4 of the hosts.
How about that? Hopefully I didn't steal the lead or whatever.
No, you're good, man. You're good.
Cool thing about this one, it directly benefits CHOP, so supporting pediatric cancer research in and around Philadelphia. So, hey, great beers for a great cause. and obviously throwing back, we're supporting a lot of all of our great Philadelphia sports teams and some of the great guys behind them. So,
and because I can, I'm going to crack one of these open right now.
Oh, there you go. Well, I would say you're a little late to the party. I've already been starting with our best selling beer, Ring the Bell, our American lager. So, yeah, cheers to you.
Thank you. Regarding the great sports debate, as a fan of that great TV show on Prism back in the day, I was really excited about this beer and that event, the reunion event, and the fact that they, before the launch party, I guess, they actually taped a new episode of the Great Sports Debate, which is available right now on NBC Sports Philadelphia. Check your local listings, as they say. So, yeah, I did crack one of these open, and like I said, I love the beer, and that was a fun night.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, we not to mention obviously having some really cool themed beers and some great charitable events. We try and do make great tasting beer too. So I think this one is maybe one of my favorites that we've had. Just really smooth and malty, roasty, easy drinking. And the launch event, just having Angelo and Al and Jason all out to get together and have some beers and just talk about all the good times they had, and some of the other fantastic local authors that came out and signed their books. It's just really a fantastic thing for us to be able to have these amazing beers that we can really throw some support behind a great local charity by bringing all these groups of guys together and doing some fun events like the one we did at Publisher's Kitchen and Tap.
And you mentioned Ring the Bell. That's a go-to at the ballpark for a lot of fans, I'm guessing.
100%. Yeah. So it's our number one selling beer, actually. So it just overtook our Type A IPA, which was previously the number one for about 7 years. Ring the Bell just this year overtook it. And a big part of that is our fantastic partnership with the Philadelphia Phillies and Citizens Bank Park. Not to mention it's also available at the Wells Fargo Center and a significant number of local bar and restaurant partners, not to mention your favorite local beer distributor, your local supermarket as well. And a big reason for its growth this year, we actually introduced it for the first time ever in 12-ounce cans. So instead of our traditional 16-ounce, which has been basically the staple, the only package that we've sold for many years from Conshohocken Brewing Company, you can now get our number one selling beer, Ring the Bell American Lager, in your local favorite spot to buy beer in 12 packs of 12-ounce cans. So cheers to that.
I got to tell you, I'm more of a warm weather guy overall, but one of the things I do like about the September through January months is the arrival of the various seasonal beers, Oktoberfest, pumpkin beers, and then the holiday and winter beers. So what are your favorite winter brews?
Yeah, that's a great question. I thought you were going to say for a second that you were a fan of warm beer, so I'm luckily
no. Definitely not that.
I'll tell you what, a little bit of a mention of maybe not traditionally warm beer, but one of my favorites this time of year is our Publisher's Row. So it's available year-round from us, but it's one that especially in this time of year when it's a little bit starts to get a little bit chillier outside, malty, roasty, just smooth and easy drinking. This one actually won back-to-back silver medals for us at the World Beer Cup, one of our absolute favorites. Excuse me. You spoke a little bit about Jonesy's Hockey Lager before.
Yeah.
We actually just packaged this 2 weeks ago. It's now freshly released, available out in the market again for this year. So you're going to be able to find this at your local beer store all over the place. And of course, down during Flyers games at the Wells Fargo Center. And then from there, we do a whole bunch of fun ones. So we got some new fun, exciting releases coming out soon. I don't have the cans for them, unfortunately, just because they're so new. We haven't even packaged them yet. But very, very shortly, within the next 2 weeks, we're going to be packaging our Asher's Chocolate Imperial Stout that we do with the fine folks, Jeff Asher and family of Asher's Chocolate Company in Souderton. So that's going to be a nice, big, bold, 8% roasty, chocolatey Imperial Stout that we actually use their real chocolate and cocoa nibs directly in the beer. And then we're also going to, this is a fun little sneak peek. Just last week, we had the folks from Bassett's Ice Cream, one of our Philadelphia favorites, in-house to brew a beer. They're going to be releasing sometime in mid-December, which is going to be our Vanilla Ice Cream IPA or Ice Cream Pale Ale. So that one we're really, really excited about, on top of our other fantastic releases this time of year, like 2 Hour Delay, which is our Hazy Winter IPA. And then I did bring this one just because it's a fun one that is an extremely limited release, basically just in our 4 locations, available on our website through conchexpress.com to be delivered directly to your house. This is double MC5, so a nice big, bold double IPA version of our MC5, which is our most popular double dry hop hazy IPA. So
you mentioned Asher's. How did I miss the chocolate-covered orange porter that you did with those guys? That sounds great.
It was great. Yeah, and that was a quick in and out. And we were looking for something, not only is that just a classic combination of chocolate and orange, but we do try and make, one of the things you mentioned is the seasonality of beer, which is one of the best things about beer, right? I agree that maybe the volume maybe upticks a little bit when the weather's a little bit warmer outside, but just the seasonality of beer and being able to enjoy your favorite Nightmare on East Elm Street Pumpkin Ale or your Oktoberfest Marzen or a really fantastic chocolate orange porter going into the holidays and Thanksgiving and all the other times this year. It's just it's a very cool thing to be able to make. One of my favorite personal things about beer is just the fact that no matter the season, no matter the weather, no matter the circumstance or location or occasion, there's a perfect beer for everything. So
now these aren't from your fine brewery, but a couple of my favorites this time of year, the 8 and Sands Holiday Hef. I'm a big Hefeweizen guy, so I really like this one a lot.
Classic.
And from Lansdale's Round Guys Brewing, Christmas in Hollis. It's
nice.
A tasty brown ale with cinnamon and vanilla. I highly recommend that one.
I like it. And that's a Run DMC throwback nod there, I believe. Yeah, that's awesome. Very, very cool.
Exactly. Hey, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that one of the owners of Conshohocken Brewery is a certain retired radio guy. You alluded to it earlier. He's also the social media face of the brewery, I believe, Glenn Mack now. We even see you occasionally on the show with Glenn. There you go. So that's pretty cool. What is it like working with the legendary Glenn Mack now?
It's great, just the ability and just the camaraderie and friendship that we have together, working side by side in the brewery, and the fact that he has, these really, really cool opportunities, right? Just to be able to make this fantastic show on NBC Sports, What's Brewing PA. It is an opportunity for us to talk about beer and not just beer itself. One of the coolest things that I love about this job, and the reason I've been, so in love with it for the last decade plus of me selling beer in and around Philadelphia, is the camaraderie of the Philadelphia beer scene and all the people and different breweries around it. I know Glenn ended up coming ever since we talk about the loss of Chris LaPierre from Iron Hill Brewery. The Philadelphia beer scene, they're just such a tightly knit community. It really feels like a lot more than just a job. It really is a really fantastic way for us to talk about just how amazing and how important beer is to the city of Philadelphia. And luckily, we're just maybe one of the very, very few breweries that has the opportunity just to talk about that live on camera and support and promote all these fantastic local breweries and beer partners and restaurants and bars and beer distributors. It's a really, really wonderful thing that we can talk about this and, really just express how important beer is to us. And working with Glenn on it's a really amazing thing. It's something I'm very proud to do.
I want to mention something else about you, a little personal news. 1 month ago, a new addition to the family.
How about that? Where'd you get that from?
About your new addition. Tell us.
Yeah, my wife, Lauren, and I were very, very lucky to be able to welcome our second daughter. So Mason, who is now 4, is a big sister, and her little sister, Thea, was joined us just about a month ago. So, we're a very proud, happy family, and I am outnumbered, to say the least, when it comes to the ladies, but we couldn't be happier. She's just absolutely amazing. Not sleeping as much as we'd like, but eating more than I think we ever could have expected. So she's doing great.
I got to say, you look even happier there than when I see you with a beer in your hand, Andrew.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if there's in a perfect world, I have the kids in one and a beer in the other hand, but hey, my family is very important to me, and nothing ever comes before family. That's the most important thing out there. So,
well, Andrew, we're talking on Thanksgiving week, a couple of days ahead of the big holiday.
Yeah.
Will you enjoy a couple of cold ones, perhaps on Turkey Day? And if so, what's your likely brew going to be that day?
That's an excellent question. So this year's going to be a little bit different, just partially because I do have a 1-month-old. But
right.
Previous years, I've fried a turkey every single year for the last couple of years. I'm doing it for a while. And for a couple of those years, I actually did home brewed a beer while also frying a turkey, which I found to be just way too much to try and bite off and do at the same exact time one day. So I have since, unfortunately, not done the home brewing on Thanksgiving. But I got some really, really fantastic beers at the house I can enjoy. I was lucky enough to go to Germany earlier this year in April into May. So I still have a couple of beers. Peter's Kolsch comes to mind, and from my favorite brewery in the world, Ondex Monastery Brewery outside of Munich there. I got a couple of those left, and I think there's a good chance that they're going to be cracked open on Thanksgiving. So
excellent. Hey, folks, check out the various Conshohocken Brewing Company locations. Good beers, good people, and always a good time based on my experience anyway. And, hey, you just might run into this guy while there. Andrew, thanks so much for doing this.
Hey, Chet, I really appreciate you having me, and thanks for all the support of local brewing companies, especially of us, of Conshohocken Brewing Company. So it's very much appreciated.
Again, cheers.
Cheers to you. Happy Thanksgiving.